Howdy gang, Michelle here from Love to Loom. And today I am going to bring you this really fun, super quick to work up basic brimless beanie. Now the reason why I did this is because a lot lately in our group Love to Loom, I have been seeing a lot of people ask, what is a good quick hat that can be done either for a guy or a girl? And there are a few out there, but apparently some guys seem to think that hats with brims on them are more for girls. And, you know, in today's day and age, I say, wear what you want. If it's pink, if it's blue, if it's purple, if it's green, you know, wear whatever style, whatever color you want, because it's what we want to do that makes us who we are. Okay. So for this, the thing I love about this is it works up really quick, number one, especially if you're using a nice thick yarn. Now for this particular one here, I used Lion Brand's Woolies, thick and quick. And the color that I used is called Astroland. This is a super bulky, so it's a number 6. And it's really, really nice and thick once you work it up. Not only that, but it doesn't have a lot of gaps in it. So like for my husband, he's a scuba diver, so when he gets out of the water, especially because he's bald, something like this is perfect. If you're giving this to somebody who's going to be working out in the weather, somebody who keeps their hair really short, or maybe they're bald also and they want something to keep them warm, here you go. Now if you want something a little lighter, you could totally do something lighter. That's just what I used for this one, which I'm keeping, which is why it's a little bit longer, because I have a whole lot of hair. Anyway, so for the one that my husband wants me to make up, which I'm going to get started here in this video just to show you guys everything, I am using Charisma from Loops and Threads. Love this yarn. And this is a simple number 5 bulky. So the other one was a super bulky, which is just a wee bit thicker than the Charisma. But this is just a regular bulky. It's really nice and soft. It works up really quick. This particular color here is called Pecan. Now, depending on where you're from, you could say pecan or you could say pecan. Now, I ask all of you who say pecan, if you grab a can of soda, is it called a can of soda or a con of soda? Think about that. Anyway, I know some of y'all are cussing me out right now for that. So what we're going to use is our KB 48 peg loom. Now, if you don't have this one, it's okay. You can use a 41 peg as well. You're just going to, that 41, you're just going to work that into the pattern, because this is a super simple 2-row repeat. Okay. So, for this particular one, now you guys know me well enough to know I love marking off my looms because it makes my life so much easier when working on things. Now, I didn't take off the tape that was on here from the last thing that I did. And the reason why I'm not going to is because it's already marked. If you see these little pink dots on every other one, that is so when I do brims and stuff like that, I know, you know, K1, P1, where I'm at. So if I have to come to a stop point or anything. This particular pattern is a simple 2-row repeat. So row 1 is a K1, P1, and row 2 is just a knit. So U knit or true knit. And that's what gives it this really fun look here, instead of just the basic blah E-wrap or you know, regular true knit or U knit look. It gives it a little bit of texture, and it's a lot of fun, and it works up super quick. So for the cast on all this, it's going to be a little different. So I cast it on my starter peg, which I have marked here with black. So even if you don't have an anchor peg or anything like that, just cast on the first one. It's okay. And I also want to show you guys my new loom hook that I'm going to be using. I just received this today from Steve Axelrod, and he's a member of my group, and he has this really great Etsy, which I will put into the comments. He does all kinds of custom turning and lathing, and he does pens, he does sewing pieces, he does loom hooks. The great thing I love about this is I'm kind of a snob when it comes to my hooks. I like the length with the normal Cindy wood that I was using before, and he totally knocked that out. So I pretty much have the length as I do with my Cinnamon hook. This is a little bit thicker than this Cinnamon hook, and it feels great in my hand. Like, I was really worried about that because he has so many different styles and types that you can choose from. I mean, this is completely customizable, and you pick your colors. So I kind of gave him an idea of the colors that I like, and I'm going to hold this a little close so you guys can see. Look at all that shimmer. It's like a pearlesque in here. Just absolutely gorgeous. And this is a one of a kind, and it's mine. So I'm going to have the link to his Etsy down below in the comments. And he's also in my group, Love To Loom. So if you're in the group, you're welcome to message him. Just look for Steve Axelrod, and he'll get you hooked up. Ha! Get it? Hooked up. I just made a fun of there. Okay, so let's get started. So what we're going to do for our cast on, I'm going to put my hook down here for a sec. And our cast on is super easy. So once your slip knot is on your first one, go behind and then go in front. So you're going to go behind the first one and in front of the other, and you're just going to repeat that all the way around until you get back to your starter peg. And a lot of people know this as the drawstring cast on, but we're not drawing this string at all. We're just going to leave it, and it's going to give us, with what I'm going to show you how to do this, it's going to give us a really fun look to the brim. And if you see here, even though it's brimless, it gives you like a nice little pop here on the brim because it looks like little beads. Okay, so now that I'm back at my starter peg, you're going to bring your working yarn in front, and you're just going to knit that off. Let me lay it down and knit it off. There we go. Okay. Now this one's empty. So you're just going to bring your working yarn in front, and then you're going to go to the third one where the yarn's already there, and you're going to knit that off. Bring it in front of the empty and knit that off, and just continue that all the way around until all of them have yarn on them. So I'm going to lay this down and work on it down here because it's easier than me holding it up. And just continue that. And again, like I said, if you don't have the 48 peg, that's totally fine. You can use the 41. And then just work the 41st peg in with the rest of the pattern, because literally it's just a simple 2-row repeat after we do this cast on. So just continue this all the way around. Until we get to the starter peg. And what I love about this also is it literally works up in hours. So if somebody comes to you and, you know, you need a last minute gift for somebody, or even with leftover yarn, if you have some hats that you want to make with leftover yarn and you want to donate them, this is really great because it works up super quick, and you can get them just cranked out and shipped out to wherever they need to go. You can even do this with baby hats also. So if you have the smaller hat looms for babies, or even the KB baby loom set, you can totally knock one of these out for a baby hat as well. So if you donate to any children's hospitals or anything like that, you can knock those out. All right, so now I'm coming up on my last peg. So for me, we're getting ready to do round 1, and round 1 is just a K1 P1. Now you'll have the written instructions available to you as well, that I'll have the link to. So on the ones on my stickers here that have this little pink dot, those tell me I need to knit. The empty ones are a purl. So what you're going to do is, I just knitted that first one off. Now I know I have to, you know, purl this second one. And you guys have seen me, if you've watched any of my videos, purl like this. Let me knit this one. And I know that some of you have a hard time with purling, whether, you know, it's arthritis or anything like that. I'm going to give you a little trick that I don't think a lot of people, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people know, but some people don't. So another way to purl is to do it the same way where you bring your hook down. You're going to grab your yarn from underneath. Whoops. Grab your yarn from underneath, bring it up. Now, if you're working with a loose tension, this is going to be super easy. If it's not a very loose tension, you're going to struggle with it a little bit. But you just pop it off, and then you put it right back on, and you tighten it up. So it's just like a true knit, but you're going the other way. So again, I'm going to grab it from under, bring it up. Normally I'd put my finger here, grab it off, and then put it on, but you can just slide it off and slide it right back on. So that's something to keep in mind also. It's a little easier on the hands to do it that way, but it's whatever works best for you, what's more comfortable for you. All right. So we're just going to K1, P1 all the way around until we come back up to the starter peg. And you can also do this on a small gauge too, if you're using a thinner yarn like a worsted weight and you have small gauge looms like the KB small gauge 80, 72, and 64, I think it is. You could totally do these on that as well. It'll work on any loom with, now obviously you're going to want to use the appropriate yarn for the loom that you're using. If you're using a large gauge loom, you're going to want to use a bulky or a super bulky yarn. If you're doing small gauge, like 3/8 for the small gauge hat looms, then you're obviously going to want to use a thinner, like a worsted weight with that, or a thin bulky like Scarfy. Even though that says it's a number 5 bulky, it's really thin. So just make sure that you use the right yarn with the right loom. All right, so we're on row 1. And I'm almost back to the beginning. The sun is coming out. Wow. Haven't seen her in a few days. And then just continue this knit 1, purl 1 all the way around. And if U knit is easier for you, or true knit, whatever, you don't have to be super tight with it. It comes together nicely. So just make sure, as you guys have always heard me say, let the yarn glide through your fingers. Don't work your yarn super tight. It'll come together as it relaxes and everything like that. So you don't have to beat it up. Just let it do its thing. And a couple more, and then we're back. So now we are done with row 1, and row 1 was simply knit purl all the way around. Okay, just like you would do for a normal brimmed hat. If you do a K1 P1 hat brim, it's the same thing. Now row 2, and this is the second part of it, is just simply knit. So everything you just did, you're just going to go over it and you're going to knit it off. That's it. And then you just continue that, those two, oops, all the way around until you get to the desired length. Now, normally an adult hat is between 8 and 9 inches long. If you're like me and have a lot of hair and it's thick, you can do it slouchy, just make a couple extra inches on there. I usually do mine between 9 and 10. Just work it however you want as far as the I can word today, the desired length. And then use my 4 peg crown decrease, which I'll have the video for as well in the comments below. And then you get a nice tight clean look and close on that. And then if you want to add a palm, or if you want to just leave it as the decrease, close. It closes very nicely, and it lays really nice and flat. That way it's not all bunched up and everything like that. That's totally up to you. And then you're done. You can wear it, you can gift it, you can donate it, you can do whatever you want with it. So I'm just getting back to the start. And that's literally how simple this is. 2 rows. So if you have a stitch counter or row counter or pen and paper to keep track of, that helps also. So that way you know exactly what row you were on when you walked away. For me, I try to, you know, unless it's something that needs me immediately, I try to wait until I get to an area where I know I need to purl. So we're done row 2, and it's that easy. So I know on this first one I need to knit, and then we're going to repeat row 1, and then I'm going to purl. So I usually leave it like that, and I leave my hook on the inside like that. So that's how simple it is. You'll be able to find my written instructions in a link below. They're on my Ravelry, and I can't wait to see what you guys make. So also another thing that I want to say is, if you've ever made anything of mine, I'm going to start sharing these in my stories on Instagram. I've just been so busy with over the holidays and then everything after that. But now that things are starting to settle down for a little bit, I really want to showcase all the things that you guys have made with anything that my patterns or my videos. So send them to me either on Facebook, or you're welcome to email them to me at ilovetoloomknit@gmail.com, which you'll find the information in my Ravelry as well. And that's it. So happy looming, everybody. Have a great day.